Yes, a couple things of business. Exhibition game Monday, um, in the theme of Unite the Family, which is important to us. We proudly welcome back Coach Mike Wacker, one of the best players that ever played at the University of Texas. Of course, he played for Coach Lemons, and so we're just excited to bring Coach back and appreciate everything he did for the program and has done for many years. So Monday night, I think that game's at 7:30. No ticket charge, open doors, general admission seating. Come in, sit where you like. Just looking forward to kind of our first test against outside competition, but equally important to us that Coach Wacker's coming back. Of course, the opener's November 9th, and just making sure there's no confusion. I think the women tip off at 5:30, and that'll put our game right at 8 o'clock, or a little bit before maybe. Same ticket on that game. Ticket still available, $10 for both games. Looking forward to that first game of the season, the last year of the Irwin Center. So a lot of history in this game. Just look forward to seeing the student body out there and season ticket holders and the whole deal. Proud to take the floor that night with Coach Schaefer and his team as well. Um, Season tickets right now, just a few minutes ago, I got the latest report. I think it's right over 8,500 season tickets. The all-time school record, I think, is around, we're only about 300 short. So the hope is for people to come out and see us play in the exhibition game and feel like that the team's worthy of their support. Big message, too, is just encourage everybody, year two when we open the Moody, people have to be season ticket holders in the Irwin Center to be considered or be on the process to get into Moody. So just trying to get that message out. We've had a lot of really loyal fans over the years that come to a lot of games, but more on a single game basis because maybe they live in Dallas or Houston or whatever. Just encourage people to get season tickets this year so they can be in the game when the Moody tickets are available. We had a great open practice last week with our student body and had a lot of the lower bowl filled with students. So there was an excitement and energy, and we're continuing to work hard on our relationship with the students, and we look forward to the exhibition game and the first game of the season being the first piece. Um, again, trying to connect the fan base with our players. Proud to have Andrew Jones here today. I think you guys know Drew and I share the same hometown of Irving, Texas. We've competed against each other a lot over the years, so I'm proud to be Drew's coach. And then to right, Devin here, I believe one of the best young players in college basketball. Dev's got a great story, reclassed early, went to Kentucky last year. Now he's at Texas. We don't know what to call each other. I don't know if he's a COVID freshman or sophomore COVID or something, but I know he's one of the best young players in college basketball. It's going to be a major role for him on this year's team, but certainly when you think of the future of the program, one of the first guys I think of is Devin.
Take questions for the players, please. Raise your hand. Keenan on your left, please.
Hey, Devin. Nice to meet you. Your game is more in the vein of distribution. So, who are some point guards that you look up to and try to model your game
Um, Recently, I just been watching film like T.J. McConnell, Tyus Jones, players like that. Just very competitive on the defensive end. They get their game started on the defensive end, and work from there.
Brian up front.
Yeah, Dan. Coach and I talked before. Your situation is very unique. You mentioned that it was almost like having a senior year, capstone year, at one of the biggest basketball blue bloods there ever was.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like a freshman now with the reset, or
Um,
how do you feel?
yeah, I just feel like we just reset it. I feel like a freshman. I do. I feel like I honestly just spent my senior year of high school playing college basketball at Kentucky.
So, curious question. I mean, when you're playing for a school like that, super high profile and everything you do, good and bad.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the whole Kentucky experience, and how does that make you better?
I appreciate. I had fun. Like I said, I was playing basketball, so there's not much more to say. So I was having fun. I love the game of basketball, and I got to play it. So I had fun.
Ross up front.
Yeah, for Andrew. A couple months ago, Timmy Allen spoke about your special bond with him that you've developed. Among other things, he said you're one of the best people he knows, one of the most important people in his life. Can you just speak on that special relationship that you guys have formed?
Me and Timmy both share, this deep connection with basketball and off the court as far as like cancer with his mom and what I dealt with. And we just bond on a personal level. He's a talented player, great guy off the court, really entertaining, cool to hang out with. So it's one of those connections that you don't really have to force to build with a player when you get to a new team. It's hard to gel with a lot of people. And I know he's not a guy that is, really social like that. So it just me and him clicked early on just because we have a mutual respect for each other's game. And, we know the path in which we want to go and how difficult it is. And we're trying to, help each other, get better and achieve that goal.
Bob, on your right.
Andrew joking about Devin stats. How many years do you have left?
Technically still have one more year left.
Okay. You look bigger. I mean, are you?
Yeah.
How much bigger are you?
I'm probably about 5-10 pounds heavier as far as just solid muscle. And I'm able to actually keep it on. I'm on a good weight gain program, lifting schedule to where it's like I'm going to be lifting throughout the season and I won't have any let-ups to where I can continue to get stronger. Sometimes during the season guys don't lift as much and it's harder to maintain weight and strength, because of how long seasons go and the games. And I'm on a good plan right now to hopefully keep it and maybe grow some more.
What's kind of your feeling as you enter this year? Because this has got to
Yeah.
be super special for you to have an opportunity like this with a team like this.
Kind of like Devin, I feel like a freshman all over again.
You're an old freshman. Man.
Yeah. The reason I say that is because I've been here the longest and I've seen so many coaches change as far as like assistant coaches, and I've seen a lot of guys come in and out, and I feel like I'm the guy who just stuck around for it, and I'm entering a whole new culture, and it gives me a chance to adjust, find something new, and I'm liking it so far. I've made a lot of improvement, and I feel like it's going to show first game.
What do you think the biggest improvements are?
Just efficiency, playing off the ball, a team defensive mindset, being able to play a team defense knowing that, I have help behind me, and just as far as just IQ of the basketball game has improved over the last 3 or 4 months.
Christina on your far right.
Hey Devin, so I know you're from LA. Did you ever consider like going back home after you decided you wanted to leave Kentucky? Like I know USC like gave you an offer at high school.
I honestly want to stay as far away from California as possible. Yeah, it's not really much positives coming out of there, so coming here was probably the best thing for me.
Keenan, far left.
Hey, for Devin, so you played with a couple of seniors last year at Kentucky, but a lot of underclassmen. So what's it like being on a team with older guys who have more experience?
It's honestly amazing. I get to learn from a lot of older guys that have a lot more experience than me, and I embrace that. Just learning from them every day, picking their brains, and just honestly just watching them. It makes me a better player, and it makes all of our young guys a better player for next year's team. So I embrace it, love it.
Brian in front.
Andrew, so how are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Are you done going to Houston?
For treatment?
Yeah.
No, I went honestly like last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I went down there last week.
And there's nothing wrong with your hip, right?
Nah, my hip is good. For the most part, I'm healthy leading into the season. Like I said, I go to Houston periodically every 3 or 4 months just for routine checkups and make sure everything is going on the same like positive course.
Sure. The reason I ask that is, does this feel like the first time since maybe your sophomore year where you're going into the season full throttle?
Yeah, I feel every player has their little bumps and bruises along the way of training, but this is the healthiest I've been without any major injuries or illnesses. That I was able to have a complete summer of training, taking care of my body, and actually working on the court without any stoppages.
And just, not only have you seen a lot of changes with Texas basketball, but you've been here, there's been changes all over the campus,
Mhm.
right? Football changes,
Yeah.
basketball in a new arena. Just from the time when you started to now, what do you think of this place, and what do you think is possible?
Austin's growing. I feel like there's a lot of love for Austin. People enjoy coming to Austin outside of the basketball and school scene, and that's just only a major attraction for the program because we're the major sports teams in Austin outside of the Spurs, which is up the street in San Antonio. So, as we continue to improve in all major aspects within sports, I feel like a lot of people are going to gravitate to us, because there's a lot of big businesses moving to Austin like Tesla. So I feel like Austin's a growing city, and it's only going to get better from here.
Travis in the back camera well.
Andrew, because you've been here so long, you've been a part of a lot of different teams, a lot of different really good players that you've played with. What do you think could be unique, maybe special about this group?
What's special about this group is the offensive capabilities. You know, I'm surrounded with a lot of offensive power, a lot of veterans who have like increased knowledge of the game. So, you know, we come and show our identity early that, you know, even though we can score, that we are going to be one of the best defensive teams in the country. We're in for a route. Like, a lot of teams are going to be scared to guard us and play us, you know, coming regular season.
Ross in front.
Andrew, Ben, you spoke about, or you touched on, your bond with Timmy, due to him losing his mother in high school. I know that Jace has a similar story, and obviously you've known him for much longer. What's that bond been like? And I'm not sure. You said you have 1 year of eligibility left. Not sure how it works for Jace, but this could be y'all's last year together. So
Yeah.
can you also speak on that?
Jace is like my brother, man. Just like Timmy, me and Jace built the bond early when he first came to as a freshman here. You know, we've been real close. He's currently my roommate right now, so it's just we've been through the ups and downs with everything within Texas, and I believe probably more than he does that he has a bright future in basketball afterwards because he's such a smart guy. Like, without basketball, he's going to be successful regardless, but there's a special place for a guy with his talent, his caliber at the next level. So just encouraging him, motivating him, and challenging him every day to be his best, and leave it all on the court this year. I look forward to seeing what he's capable of doing.
Two last ones for the players. Keenan right here.
Hey, Andrew. So I was actually crowdsourcing some questions from my friends, and one of them said, how do you feel hitting so many clutch shots? But I'm going to tweak that a little bit. So you're cool, you're calm, you're collected in clutch time. Is it like a mental switch you flip, or do you just not feel the pressure?
I feel when it comes down to making big shots, it's all about preparation and about how do you work before or leading into the game. You just don't go into the game and be like, all right, I'm just going to hit a game-winner shot when it comes down to it. I know a lot of the greats like Kobe, Dame, they prepare for those moments, prior to the game and work out. So I just try to take that mindset into each game, each workout, as just poise and calm, and each shot's the best shot. There's no necessarily game winner. Each shot I consider it to be a game winner.
Christina, last one. You're right.
Yeah, so Devin, so I know things didn't exactly click as a team last year at Kentucky. So when you were looking for a new school, was that something you were concerned about? And was like the basketball-centric culture at Kentucky did that ever get to you?
Honestly, I just wanted to win. I love winning, and obviously with the culture here, it's something that they embrace and they really take pride in, and I wanted to be a part of it. So that was really
Devin, Andrew, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
appreciate you guys.
Let's raise your hand for questions for Coach, please. Bob, in front.
Just on Andrew, his story. You watched him where he was to where he is now. What is his story mean to you and this team? What did you guys appreciate?
Well, first of all, it's amazing. I mean, it's a Dateline and a 30 for 30 because, the Dateline version is the non-basketball version. You're talking about a young man. It's all about the right things, then he just gets this killer blow, you wonder why that happens to people, especially young people. We were all just worried about his life, and I remember talking to Shaka a couple times during that and reaching out to Andrew. I think wrote him a letter at MD Anderson. And so just the fight, man, never forget the social media that comes out. He's in the hospital gown shooting the shot, and just the fight, man, to still be alive is awesome. Then you put the basketball in part of it, and it's like, not only is he playing again, like he's one of the best players in college basketball. So the story, I think, is real with the adversity he's fought, but the other story is just how he's improved as a player. He's a little off on his math, which is not uncommon to people from Irving, especially Irving MacArthur. I went to Irving High. We're a little bit better at math. He's gained 12 pounds since we've been here, not 5, and he looks better. He's going to play better. I predict he's going to have his best season he's ever had.
Brian in front.
I would assume that on Devin, is he normally that talkative with you guys? Is there, or is
No, he's got great personality. I think he's a true teller. He's not going to get up here and just make stuff up. If you ask him a question, he's going to answer it. But he's a guy that enjoys life, man. When Devin walks in the room immediately is brightened. Man, he brings energy and pop into the room. He's a positive guy. He's really competitive. I mean, look, it's early, right? We haven't played a game yet. We haven't even played an exhibition. We all kind of have an idea where this deal could go, but it's easy to talk about. It's really hard to do. But what I would tell you from Dev is he's all about the right things. You know, a lot of respect for him, and he literally is a guy that's running his own race. And every day he finds value in improving. He plays possession by possession. I don't think he's looking too far ahead, and I know he's not looking behind anymore. So I got no problem. You know, I don't want to put all the weight on his shoulders, but I got no problem telling you if he stays the course, he'll end up being one of the all-time greats. You know, it's just an interesting thing. You know, the NBA scouts come to the gym, and you know that's the guy that played at Kentucky last year, and then the other guy is saying, man, that's one of the best freshmen in college basketball. So it's just a matter. I mean, the guy literally played his senior year in high school at Kentucky with the ball in his hands a lot of times, and so it's just whatever way you look at it. I look at it from Devin's point of view. This guy is young and talented and going to be really good one day. And I'm not talking about next year. I'm talking about, you know, maybe next game. So, like, I'm not putting a time frame on his race. It could happen very soon.
And just real quick, I know you believe in positional stuff, but is he more like a point guard type, the guy who brings the ball up the floor, you know, directs traffic and all that?
Yeah, hopefully we're passing the ball up the floor. That's better than dribbling the ball up the floor. But I'll say this. He has a defensive identity where he is really, really good at on-ball defense. I mean, really good. And he's competitive. He never takes plays off. He's a big guard that can do things around the basket. He can guard 4, sometimes 5 positions because he's a big, strong kid. So you guys know, you know, in switching defenses, what you got to do to win 6 games in 3 weekends. He's a good player. Offensively, he's working really hard on his game. And so I don't want to put him in that hole. I don't want to just tell you he's a point guard or 2 guard. He's a player.
Jeff, on the far left here.
Chris, I know we've asked you a lot about from a skill set standpoint, a rotation standpoint, how you make it work with so many talented guys. But you know, some of the personalities, you know, Courtney's very different from Andrew, he's different from Devin. I mean, just all these guys have different personalities and different works. What is that process like in terms of figuring out the right chemistry, the right?
Yeah, I was talking to the players about it the other day in the film room, and it's like, you know, it's the question they're getting, it's the question I'm getting. Like, it's the 4th or 5th time we're here. It's the same question every time, and I understand. Look, it's a work in progress. Like, when you guys see us play, then I'm sure there'll be some follow-up questions, but it's no different than any other team. I'm not sure, like, I mean, let's think of Texas' team last year. The year starts, you have 3 NBA draft choices on it. Matt Coleman's one of the best college players in the history of the league. That's 4. I mean, we keep going. I mean, it's really, I don't know if you guys ask Shaka that question every day too, but like, this is what the team's always going to look like at Texas because our job's to compete for the national championship. And to do that, you can't have 4 players. You got to have a bunch of them. So last year, the team that won the national championship, Baylor, I thought was one of Scott Drew's best coaching jobs. It was amazing, right? Because I mean, think of the players he had. Mitchell, Butler, Teague play together, Flagler, you know, the bigs were good. Matthew Mayer in his role so like, I mean, any team that's in the fight for what we're trying to do, we're always going to be up here. So I don't mind the questions each week about the chemistry and the talent, but that's my job. Like, if I'm ever up here and you guys are asking me, like, hey, do you think you have enough? Then, you know, it'll probably be time for me to call the realtor and see what's next. And that's not the plan. You know, I came here to be here for a long time.
Ross in front.
Coach, Dylan Mitchell said a couple days ago that he had a lot more fun on his visit to UT than other schools, and you know that contributed to his decision. What exactly did you do on his visit that led to him saying that? And is showing these guys a good time? And like obviously Andrew mentioned the attraction that Austin brings. Is that all part of your recruitment process in terms of guys coming out of high school?
Yeah, I cannot talk about specific recruits until they sign. I cannot talk about things that happen with that specific recruit. Some guys are kind of savvy and you talk about it, but you don't mention it. I try to stay out of that gray area. What I can tell you is this: we have a process that we believe in. We're much more process driven than outcome driven. We're not sitting around here talking about beating Houston Baptist right now. We're talking about getting better today. Within this process, there's all sorts of things we value, whether it be strength conditioning, film room, basketball, individual work, nutrition. All these things matter. And one part of our process is what we call balance. And we don't apologize to anybody for having balance. Like, we want to have more fun than any other team in college basketball. If you're having as much fun as us, hats off, man. But we don't apologize for that. We don't shy away from it. Like, you get one shot at life, you get one shot at a season, you get one shot at a day. I think this is the whole thing with Ted Lasso, what he's doing to all of us in this country. It's just like this positivity, right? And so we've always tried to do that. And I'm not great at it, but I try. But when anybody says that we're having fun down here, then yes, we agree. We are. Look, we're serious. Nobody works harder than us. Nobody wants to win the next game. Nobody's more competitive. That's going to be very apparent here in a few days too. But we want to have fun too. So when people tell me they enjoyed their time here, I take that as a huge compliment. That's what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to have fun. Like, it's life, man. Like, you get one shot at it.
Bob in front.
I got two questions. First, what is your approach? You're two and a half weeks away from the Gonzaga game, and I know you're focused on today, but the guys know, everybody kind of knows that stuff's coming up. What's your approach to getting them to only focus on today and not? 'Cause it's hard to not think about how close that kind of awesome type atmosphere is.
Yeah, exactly what I just said. The process is more important than the outcome. Control what you can control. We say live where our feet are. Don't look back and don't look too far forward. Now, the reality of it is, when you're playing, last year you knew when that Baylor game was coming up. I mean, you knew that, and that's respect to Baylor, But we really don't spend a lot of time talking about it. We really don't. That's as truthful as I can be with you. We're talking about one thing right now, and it's getting better each day. Once we get past Coach Wacker and those guys and that learning experience of that game, then it'll be all about Houston Baptist, all the way down to the hour. 56 hours to the game, guys, 28 hours to the game. We play the game, we have the 12-hour rule. We got this from Coach Saban. He's got the 24-hour rule. They play once a week. Again, I'm pretty good at math. Irving High, right? We play twice a week, 12-hour rule, right? So, we're gonna enjoy the victory for 12 hours, or we're going to beat ourselves up a little bit and try to get better through defeat for 12 hours, and then we got to move on. So that's just kind of the deal. We just try to stay centered in the moment, all the way down to the basketball game. We play 10 4-minute games in our games, and when we're sitting in there in that second 4-minute game, we're not talking about second half, or we're talking about right there, man. The score is 8-6. We have one turnover. We've got three MIGs. We got 2 kills. We got to win this next minute and a half. So we just try to live in the moment is what we try to do.
Second, I just was thinking about this when we drove in, driving past the booth. How often you go over there? How often when you go by it, are you thinking about how great it is, how it continues to develop?
Yeah, so I'm living off of Mopac now, so I go to Mopac and I cut over, so I don't go by there as much as I did. One thing I do often is I'll just go down MLK and I'll bust the U-turn on 35. And that sends me right by. To me, that's the best view. And I'll kind of take my time there. I get honked at a little bit right there. I do that probably a couple times a week just to check it out. Obviously, in recruiting, it's a big focal point. A couple of the great vantage points right now is if you're on what I guess is the soccer field looking up, that's a great view. In between the rec center and the, what is that, School of Social Work? Scotty Mack, man. The guy is a killer. You put Bill Little and Scotty Mack in a room, and it's like there's nothing you could say about Texas athletics they wouldn't know. No, but you go up that hill right there next to the rec center. That's a great view. So we're over there often. Yeah, we talk about it for sure.
Two last ones, Jeff first, and Brian.
Chris, in terms of Andrew talking about, you talking about gaining 12 pounds, I was just wondering, John Riley, obviously, he's a big component of that with strength conditioning. And I don't know how much you want to get into it publicly, but how layered is that process of, strength conditioning where you want to do team building and culture building, but at the same time, making sure, hey, this guy needs to lose weight, this guy needs to gain weight, this guy needs to reshape his body. How layered is
Very. It's huge, and it's all individual based. You know, the days of, hey guys, weights are Tuesday at 3:30, 3 sets of 10. That's dinosaur. That's over. You know, it's all individual. Each guy's got an individual balance of what they're trying to get done. The weight room is just one component of it. You know, it's all these other things. Like if the nutrition piece isn't nailed correctly, the weight room doesn't work. If the hydration and the sleep, the recovery is what we call it, doesn't work. You know, you can kill it in the weight room. You can eat right, but if you're not sleeping, so it's really a combination of a lot of things. John's got about 26 things he'll tell you, but to me, in my simplistic mind, you know, it's weight room, nutrition, and sleep. It's those three things. And then Warren in the training room, he's got to get in those creases and be involved heavily. You know, shoulder doesn't feel great today, take that off, this or that. So it's just a combination. A lot of it's individual. Now, there is still value in everybody getting in that weight room together at times, and that's what you're asking about, the team chemistry and bonding. Absolutely. In the off seasons, we call that Friday man's mornings. And we get up early on Fridays in the off season, and we pop them and we get after it. It's much more mental than it is physical. You know, we started this back in junior college. You know, I'd be waiting in the parking lot at 5 a.m. Guys pull up. We'd have a pad. We'd start popping guys coming out of the dorm. And, you know, it's just the mentality to see where you're at 5 a.m. on a Friday. I think it might be 6 now. Society's getting softer. I'm getting softer, you know, so. But the Friday man's morning is it's a staple of our program. It's a pillar. We don't do it much during the season, but now that I'm sitting here talking about it, maybe we should. But yeah, the weight room, that's a fascinating thing. We got to get John Rowley up here sometime to talk to you guys. John is man, he's the defender of the culture on a day-to-day basis. He's much more than a strength coach. I mean, weight room is probably 25% of what John Rowley does for us.
Brian, real quickly, about Monday night. I don't know if we'll talk to you before Monday, but should we read anything into who the starting five is, how the rotations go? How are you treating Monday in terms of minutes?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. No, I think Monday will be some scripted minutes. We had a closed-door scrimmage the other day that I can't talk about either. But a lot of it's scripted right now. We've just got some objectives we're trying to get done in exhibitions and scrimmages, and the scoreboard's not even one of those objectives. So we're trying to get some minutes. We're trying to get some combinations. We're trying to get some looks, and so that will be the focal point on Monday. I wish it's another NCAA rule that I don't understand. I don't know why. You know, this is major college basketball, and it's like this golden rule. You only get 2. I don't. You know, you practice. It's a 42-day period, and they give us 2 chances. That doesn't make much sense to me. You know, just common sense to me would maybe be 4 or 5 chances to play outside competition. But I don't. You know, don't get me started on that. But yeah, this is an opportunity for us to get a lot of things done. So I wouldn't read much into anything other than, you know, does it look like we're playing Texas defense? Does it look like we're playing some offense that could win some games in March?
So no hints of how we're going to Houston.
What's that?
No indication of how we're going to Houston.
I can't talk about that. I'd love to talk about what I can't talk about, and then I'd love to talk about that too, but I can't.
We're out of time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. See you, fellas.
You guys can leave.